The rain fell in gentle sheets that morning, painting the streets with silver streaks and reflections of city lights. Mitchell stood by the cafe window, his hands trembling slightly as he checked his phone for the fifth time. He wasn't nervous because it was a date. He didn't even believe in dating anymore. Not after everything he'd been through. He was just a tired single dad, trying to balance work, a 5-year-old son who barely slept, and a heart that had stopped trusting love a long time ago. But his best friend, Trevor, had insisted that he meet this amazing woman he found for him online. "She's perfect for you," Trevor had said. "Sweet, beautiful, and kind. You'll thank me later." Mitchell had rolled his eyes and reluctantly agreed, mostly to get Trevor off his back. But now, as he watched people walking by outside, he wondered if this was a mistake. His heart wasn't ready for another disappointment. He adjusted his white shirt, took a deep breath, and reminded himself he didn't owe anyone anything. This was just coffee. Nothing more. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of unexpected love, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Bright Hearts right now. Let's spread stories that remind the world that compassion still exists. Mitchell looked up when he heard the faint sound of wheels, a soft rolling sound, rhythmic against the wooden floor. His eyes shifted toward the entrance, and that's when he saw her. A young woman, probably in her mid-20s, maneuvered her wheelchair through the doorway with practiced grace. Her long golden hair caught the morning light, her eyes calm, yet distant. She wore a cream-colored dress that seemed almost to glow under the cafe's warm lamps. She smiled politely when she spotted him, and in that smile, Mitchell felt something shift inside him. Something gentle, unexplainable. He stood up awkwardly, uncertain what to do. "Hi. Are you?" he began, but she raised her hand softly, gesturing that she couldn't hear him. A quick realization hit him. She was deaf. Mitchell froze. He hadn't been told that. He wasn't sure how to react, but the woman smiled again, pulling out her phone and typing something before showing it to him. "Hi, I'm Clara. Nice to meet you." He managed a small smile. "I'm Mitchell," he said, then awkwardly pointed to himself. He wasn't sure if she understood, but she nodded, typing again. "You look nervous." "Relax, I don't bite." He chuckled despite himself, and for the first time that morning, his tension eased. They communicated mostly through her phone and written notes, with Clara leading the way effortlessly, her humor and warmth shining through even without spoken words. But still, Mitchell couldn't shake the uneasy feeling that something was off. Why hadn't Trevor told him she was deaf and in a wheelchair? He wasn't prejudiced, it wasn't that. He just hated surprises, especially ones that made him feel unprepared or foolish. As the date went on, Clara asked about his son. His eyes softened immediately at the mention of Liam. "He's my whole world," Mitchell said, showing her a photo of a little boy with messy brown hair and a cheeky grin. Clara's face brightened, and she typed, "He looks just like you. You must be a great dad." Mitchell smiled, but his chest tightened. He didn't feel like a great dad. He worked long hours, sometimes missed bedtime stories, and often felt like he was barely holding things together. Still, he found himself drawn to Clara's quiet strength. She couldn't speak, yet she communicated with such clarity. She couldn't walk, yet her presence filled the room with grace. The conversation, if one could call it that, felt more honest than any he'd had in years. Over the next few weeks, they met several more times. Mitchell discovered that Clara had been paralyzed in a car accident 3 years earlier, one that also took her ability to hear. She had once been a ballet dancer, she wrote, and losing that part of herself had nearly destroyed her. But somehow, she found a way to rebuild. She volunteered at a children's rehabilitation center, teaching art to kids with physical disabilities. "They remind me," she wrote one afternoon as they sat by the lake, "that life isn't about what we lose. It's about what we still have." Mitchell couldn't stop thinking about that line. That night, he lay awake beside his sleeping son, replaying her words. Something in him began to heal, slowly, quietly. He started looking forward to their meetings, and even Liam began asking about Miss Clara. Then, one evening, everything changed. Mitchell's phone buzzed while he was cooking dinner. It was Trevor. "So, how's your date with the girl going?" he asked casually. Mitchell smiled. "Actually good. Better than I expected. She's amazing." Trevor paused. "Wait, you're serious?" "Dude, I didn't mean for it to go that far." "What do you mean?" Mitchell frowned. Trevor sighed. "Man, It was supposed to be a prank. My coworker dared me to set you up on that date. I didn't think you'd actually go. I just picked some random profile online. I didn't even know she was, deaf or anything. Mitchell's chest tightened like a vice. His hand trembled, the phone slippery in his grip. You're saying you tricked me? You made me meet her as a joke? Trevor laughed nervously. Come on, don't be mad. You've been so gloomy since your divorce. I thought it'd loosen you up. Mitchell hung up without another word. The room blurred. He looked at the photo of Clara on his phone, smiling by the lake, and felt a wave of shame crash over him. She had trusted him, and he had walked into her life under a lie that he couldn't sleep that night. Guilt gnawed at him until dawn. The next morning, he went to the cafe where they often met. Clara was already there, sipping her coffee. Her eyes brightened when she saw him, but his expression told her something was wrong. He sat down slowly and began typing on his phone. Clara, I need to tell you something. The way we met, it wasn't real. My friend set it up as a joke. I didn't know at first, but I swear, everything after that was real. You're real. I didn't mean to hurt you. She read the message, her smile fading. Her eyes glistened with quiet pain. For a long time, she said nothing. Then, she typed, So you only came because of a joke? Mitchell's throat tightened. At first, yes. But now, I can't imagine my days without you. Tears welled in Clara's eyes. She turned her wheelchair slightly, facing the window. The silence between them was heavy, suffocating. Then, after what felt like forever, she began typing again. She slid her phone across the table. Mitchell picked it up and read the words that would stay with him for the rest of his life. Mitchell, I stopped believing people could see me for who I am a long time ago. Everyone only sees what I lost. But when I met you, you didn't treat me like I was broken. You made me feel like a woman again, not a victim. So even if it started as a lie, I'm grateful you came. Because for the first time in years, I felt something real too. Mitchell's vision blurred. He reached across the table, his hand trembling as he covered hers. I'm so sorry, he whispered, though she couldn't hear him. Tears fell freely down his face. She looked at him, eyes full of forgiveness, and typed one final line. Don't be sorry. Just be honest. That's all I ever wanted. From that day forward, Mitchell promised himself he would never let lies or fear stand in the way of love again. He and Clara continued to meet, this time not out of obligation or guilt, but because they both wanted to. He learned sign language for her, slowly at first, stumbling over every gesture, but Clara's laughter made it worth every mistake. Liam adored her, too, often sitting on her lap while she painted little pictures for him. Months later, Mitchell brought Clara to a small park where the cherry blossoms were in bloom. He knelt beside her wheelchair, his heart pounding as he signed, I was tricked into meeting you, but loving you was my choice. Her eyes filled with tears again, this time, happy ones. She reached out, touching his face gently. For the first time in a long while, both of them felt whole. That if this story touched your heart or made you believe in second chances, please like, share, and subscribe to Bright Hearts to support more real-life stories that remind us of the beauty of compassion.